Okay, I got all my tails made. I pulled a couple of extra strands to make the tapers a little longer so you can see where the tapers were here, and then there's two other here just to smooth out the taper a bit. But we're gonna get these guys out of here, and then we're gonna do a test using the Push-fid, using a tubular fid with a pusher, and then we'll use the Selma Fid and then the toss wand on this one so you guys can see the differences. So let's start. I guess we'll do them in this order right here, starting with, oh no, we're going to do the toss wand last. So we'll do the Selma Fid first. And for those of you that aren't familiar with them, the Selma Fids they come in a set, kind of like this, and there's a whole bunch of them, but this gives you the idea. They all fit into each other. Whoops. This one goes here. Oh, those are the same size. And that one goes into there. And they come in this little tube. So you get like, I think 6 of them or something, 5 or 6 of them. 1, 2, yeah, 5 of them come in here. But for this one, I think we want that size. And, woo. Okay, so I like to use a little T-pin, one of these guys right here, to mark the standing body of the rope, and I go about 1 1/3 of the tail lengths, so that might be 1 1/4. We'll eyeball that, but that's where we'll come out. So now we just have to get this into there, and the best way to do that is with a little bullet on the end. Jeez, no, whatever. So we'll cut this. I'm just cutting the very last inch of it. I'll pull this, and I'm pulling real snug to taper that down. That goes inside here. And then there's a little tooth. I think you can see that tooth right there that sort of grabs onto the rope. So now we'll jam down the Brummel and flip this open. We're going to go in right there and nudge this stuff out of the way. And one downside, we'll see if this happens. If you look at a lot of my older Selma Fids, you can see there's a bunch of goop right there because I had to put some epoxy, because this is made from 2 pieces of metal that roll together, and sometimes the strands of the rope will actually get jammed right in there. So normally I tape it. This one, we're gonna cross our fingers. This is a new one. I haven't used it yet, so we'll see. We'll see if it jams anything. And then you just run it down by hand. The good thing about this is there isn't a limit to how long of a tail you can use in one shot, because you just sort of work it down like this. And right there, it's about to bump up against the T-pin. So pull that guy out. Go a little bit extra. All right, so there's this hole right here. And it actually helps to take an awl and just stick it in there. You can get a little bit of extra pull on it. Oops. Put that guy in there. Pop this thing out. So I took it off the tooth and then just popped it out. And now we jam that down. And when I pull the tension on this, right now the eye is pointed to the right. I want to pull it with enough tension that the eye straightens out. And while I'm putting it all together, yeah, there we go. So now I'm going to do a little more tapering on the end. We'll do that off camera. But before, I want to make sure that I've buried this enough. So it looks like this will go all the way in. Yeah, it will. So I'm going to stop right there. And then I'll do the taper later. So that is the Selma Fid. So now we'll go take this yellow one right here. And do this one with the Tubular Fid. And we're going to do the same thing. Let me see. We might not need to. If that can fit in there. Oh yeah, so we don't have to make a little bullet at the end. So I can take, oh, I gotta mark where we're coming out. We're gonna go a little bit further because last time it was just a little shy. So jam it, flip it open. Figure out where you're going in, which for us is going to be right about there. Now the good thing about the Push-fids is they go through a lot smoother. Now the goal here is that this will reach, this might not reach all the way. We want to get it all the way to here. So the other thing we can use is a longer pusher, which would be this guy right here. It has some other purposes as well, but we'll put this away. Oops, I don't know why there's some tape on there. Put that one away. Fold this up and jam it in here. Oh. There we go. All right, so that's in and it feels pretty secure. I used to take, you can actually do this where you take some tape and spiral up the fid and tape the rope onto the fid. And it basically works like a Selma Fid at that point where you just work it down and hope it doesn't come disconnected right here. But we're gonna do this the right way. Usually I stand right where the camera is. So I'm gonna try to do this awkwardly standing. And so basically you take the pusher, jam it into the fid with the rope, and this goes really, really smoothly when you're standing in the right spot. But that goes there. Oh, need a little bit of extra slack here. Okay, there we go. That goes right there. Pull the pin and make some room for the thing to come out. And it just goes through. Come on, buddy. The heck? Oh, that one in the wrong spot. Okay. Let me pull this one out of the way. And now, same thing. Jam it up until the eye straightens out. Okay, and then we'll finish that taper later. So that's the Push-fid. I think that that's the least used among, shall we say, hobby splicers, but maybe far more common in production splicers. It is really fast once you get used to it. And if you have all the exact shapes and sizes that you want made out for you. Okay, so here we'll use the toss wand, and you gotta take this off. Maybe put this right here so it doesn't slip all over. Toss wand. Now this isn't gonna show the wand in the brightest light because this is a shorter version, so we're gonna have to do 2 runs. I know that I want this one to come out to about right here. So I think that might be a little too much. So we're going to do it in 2 runs. So we're going to go in here first. And let's show. So first we'll take the halfway point is right about here-ish. We'll feed this guy in. All right, and we'll pop out right about there. Man, you know what? I'm gonna check because we got a lot of room here. I might be able to fit this all in one run. Give ourselves a little bit of extra room to work with. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, we got this for sure. Okay, so now this guy's gonna come out right about here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, this will work perfectly. Okay, now we take tape off. Slide this back to get the snare out. And I gotta keep this hand here because it's trying to spring back over. So it gives me kind of a little bit less to work with. Okay, there we go. Jam that down real tight because the Spectra fiber is really slippery and I've had it slip out before. I'm actually gonna jam it even more. There we go. Okay, and now pop this guy in. There was a little snag in there. That's okay. All right. So the tail is out. And now we pull this. And I'm going to actually we don't need that. What we'll do here, okay, we'll jam that one up, pull that out of the way, verify that it is going to all go in, which it will for sure. And I like to taper by pulling individual strands. Well, I'll undo this one, just cut the strands individually. And just to show, I think a lot of people use these scissors, and they will not do much of anything to the Spectra unless you keep it under tension. Then it works pretty good. Where these guys, they've got the little micro serrations in there, and they do a pretty darn good job without tension, and then with tension, they go right through it. So take this guy and we'll just work our way down. Because these strands are so thick, it's easy to make a nice taper on it just by making 3 snips. Ooh, and taper at the very end of this last one just to be super fancy. All right. That's our taper. All right, and that is the almost completed splice. We'll obviously lock stitch it. And I might put a whipping on each one to hold the webbing down here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. But there we go. There's a comparison between the toss wand, the tubular fid with the pusher, or the Selma Fids.